In question 9, the function f of x is p sine squared 2x plus q, where p and q are positive constants. The diagram shows the graph of y equals to f of x. In terms of p and q, we have to state the range of f. Now, the range of f is basically the minimum value and the maximum value. So this value up here will be the maximum value, and this value up here will be the minimum value. So we have to give these values in terms of p and q. Now, to understand this, we first have to understand what the graph of a sine x graph looks like. So if we draw a graph of sine x, it will basically look like this. And if we whole square it, so this negative part is reflected into the positive part of the graph. So that graph now basically, after whole squaring, it looks like this. Now, this is basically the amplitude of the expression, and this is, in this case, this will be P, as this represents the amplitude of the sine graph. And this will also be P. Now, this Q represents the translation of the graph in the y direction, and we can see that this graph has basically moved upwards in the y direction. So this translation or the movement in the y direction is being represented by Q. So this value will be equals to Q. And we know that this, as this was equals to P, the amplitude, so this is basically P. So the highest part will basically be P plus Q. So f of x will be less than or equals to P plus Q, and it will be greater than or equals to Q. In part 2a, we have to state the number of solutions of the following equations. F of x is equals to P plus Q. Now, P plus Q is basically a constant, and we have it up here. So if we draw a straight line from P plus Q, it will be intersecting the graph. So if you make a straight line from P to Q, it should make a straight line. It should intersect the graph at 2 points. So the number of solutions in this case will be equals to 2. We have to find the number of solutions for f of x equals to q. So if we make a straight line at f of x equals to q, we can see that it will intersect the curve at these 3 points. So the number of solutions in this case will be equals to 3. And then part C, it says half of p plus q. So we know that this is the value, this is the amplitude over here is p. So half of p will be somewhere over here. So half of p plus q will be over here. And if we make a straight line from half of p plus q, it will intersect the graph at 1, 2, 3, and 4 points. So there will be 4 solutions for half of p plus q. In part 3, it says for the case where p equals to 3 and q equals to 2, solve the equation f of x equals to 4. Now the expression was p sine squared 2x. So p is 3. So this will become 3 sine squared 2x plus q. So q is 2, and that is equals to 4. Simplifying this, we'll get 3 sine squared 2. So sine squared 2x will be equals to 4 minus 2, which is 2. So sine squared 2x will be equals to 2 upon 3. And taking the square root on both the sides, sine 2x will be equals to square root of 2 upon 3. Now, to find the value of x, first we'll find the sine inverse of square root of 2 upon 3. So that will give us the basic angle. So the basic angle will be sine inverse of, so this will become sine inverse of square root of 2 upon 3. And we'll have to make sure that the calculator is in radian mode, as the domain or the values of x are from 0 to pi. So finding sine inverse of 2 upon 3, square root of 2 upon 3, so that will become, so sine inverse of square root of 2 divided by 3. So that is equals to 0.9553 radians. Now we have the basic angle, which is 0.9553 radians. And the square root basically represents that we can take this basic angle in the positive and negative quadrants of sine, as the square root has a positive and a negative sign. So we will be making 0.955 in the first quadrant. We'll be making 0.955 in the second quadrant, in the third quadrant as well. So sine is positive in the first and the second quadrant. So this is positive in the first and second. But due to the square root, we'll be making this basic angle in the next 2 quadrants as well, which are the negative quadrants of sine. Now, once we have made these basic angles, to find the value of x, the first angle will be, so 2x will be is equals to 0.955. The second angle will become pi minus 0.955. The third angle will be pi plus 0.955. And the fourth angle will be, so the total is 360 or 2 pi. So this will become 2 pi minus 0.955. Now, first writing 0.955 over here, pi minus 0.955 will be equals to, so pi minus 0.955 is 2.186. And we'll write it till the third or fourth decimal place and then round off the final answers. And then pi plus 0.955 will be equals to 4.0965. And then 2 pi, so 2 pi minus 0.955, that will be equals to 5.328. So these are the values of 2x. To find the value of x, we'll divide each of these values by 2. So 0.955 divided by 2, that will be equals to 0.4775. Then 2.1865. So 2.1865 divided by 2, that is equals to 1.09325. 4.0965 divided by 2, that will be 2.048. And we can just add a 2 over here as well. And then 5.328 divided by 2, that will be equals to 2.664. And now, as we have to give our answer to three significant figures, so we can give this answer as 0.478. This will become 1.09. This will become 2.05. And this will become 2.66. Now, this 2x basically presents two revolutions in 360 or 2 pi. However, as our range is only from 0 to pi, so we'll not be taking the next angles as they won't be in the range. Now, all of these answers that we have are within the range 0 to pi, as pi is 3.142. So the maximum value is 2.66, which is less than 3.142. So these will be the four values for x for the solution of f of x equals to 4.